And then there's the sort of spiritual warfare that underlies these holy wars that have been going on for centuries. And I tend usually not to imbibe in the more sinister conspiracy theories that there's someone or some group of someones who know everything about everything and are intentionally sabotaging and understand and just want to control. I don't think they do understand. I think they're ignorant. I think that even the ones who are in positions of power get big surprises, just like the rest of us. And so I'm sort of the embodiment of that to them, I think, on some level. When they started making Farscape, they were very arrogant about the approach. I say Farscape. And when they started making Farscape, they were trying to tell my story on some level. And they'd consulted me about it, unlike a lot of these other interests that were just toying with me. There were actually people that I knew involved in creating it, people that had gotten relatively close to me. And one of these people, you could call him Scaper Prime, and that's what they call the people who go into these environments covertly. They call them scapers. They send their people in to scape. Of course, it's a quadruple entendre at least. You know, it's just somebody who likes the show Farscape, right? There's nothing more sinister to the huge cult around the show. And, you know, it is what it is. How's it going? No, I'm doing commentary.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Y'all from this area?
No.
No? Where are you from?
Just Boulder, Colorado.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, out for a nice hike.
Yeah. Not far from the underground mountain thingy.
Oh.
The tunnel.
The tunnel?
Moffat Tunnel.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think? Are you thinking of the NORAD tunnel?
Yeah, what do they call that? The Northcom?
Yeah.
Northcom?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, have a good trip. It's a beautiful area.
You too.
So I never know. And that's, you know, a source of incredible paranoia. And I'm going to move to Stargate now. Just going to follow the little patterns in the chaos. I went to the Tesla Symposium in, I think it was 92 or 93, after this situation, and had some very, very strange things happen. And I really don't know how to go back to paint the picture of why I think they made Stargate movie and the 15 season TV projects that followed it. My view on that is not completely clear, and that's part of the reason why I haven't wanted to talk about it. They're using what I don't know against me, and that sort of turned into a sort of Cold War where, you know, I'm being really clear about what I think should be done. I think the moon landing lie, the cost and the damage done by the moon landing lie hasn't been calculated properly by these people. I think they're still operating under the assumption that Newton was right about gravity when you get outside the Earth's orbit, and they don't realize what the cult has come to term the Arc of Truth. Now, they made a TV movie called The Arc of Truth, which deals with this discovery and the nature of this discovery. And in a sense, it was a rediscovery because the people who made Indiana Jones Raiders of the Lost Ark, the Lost Ark refers to the Ark of the Covenant. And it wasn't lost in the sense that it was a physical thing that was misplaced. It was lost in the sense that the knowledge of it was lost. The knowledge of the nature of the covenant between what the Bible refers to as God and man was revealed when the Nazis tried to get out of Earth's orbit. And they discovered the Ark with their rockets. They discovered the place above the clouds where material structure disintegrates, not unlike an object coming back to Earth at an incredible velocity. And so there's this boundary. Neil Armstrong facetiously refers to it as one of truth's protective layers. And, you know, I don't agree with the decision to try to put on hold this journey to the moon in lieu of a breakthrough. Michael Jackson referred to it as the United States anti-gravity lean. And this is a huge problem. And so I was studying anti-gravity. I was studying gravity in the confines of my own study that I refer to as the common medium carrier hypothesis. So I have my own system, my own understanding of the nature of the physical world that I formulated when I was in high school. And just to reiterate here, when I found out that my physics teacher did not know what gravity was, I was shocked. I was floored. I had no idea that physicists didn't have a working model for what gravity is. And I did. I'm like, oh, where'd this come from? How did this happen? You know, this wasn't in any of your books. At least any that you were using to teach. And so it wasn't clear to me at the time, but it became clear later that the academia had been corrupted by want for a trip to the moon. And this is an incredible controversy. It's the bane of Western civilization of the United States as I see it. And I think it's the end of the United States. For anyone who knows about what's going on realizes that the US government is a complete fraud. And that the people who are perpetuating this fraud are the enemies of humanity, basically. And it tore apart the former Soviet Union, as far as I can tell. They decided that, oh, God doesn't exist. We're going to outlaw the churches. Look how long that lasted. And, you know, here on YouTube, it's sort of been trying to establish the same sort of protocol. And a lot of the people who have pawned the system, who are jacking the ratings and the views numbers, manipulating the system from underneath, are these same, I call the space money mafia, my personal psycho-Nazi paparazzi. And it's a sin. It's a tragedy what's happening. And so while I was exploring this stuff on my own, but basically in my bubble, you know, under the impression that if I, you know, tried to tell anybody what's going on, that I would be ridiculed and labeled insane, just like the people who tried to say that the moon landings didn't happen. While I was doing all this work, they were stealing it. They weren't just stealing it. They were making television shows about their exploits. that's my view on it right now. Perhaps there's people who think, oh, it's an honor. We were honoring you. Yeah, I bet. Excuse me while I nail you to a fucking tree. Let's find a good one. You bring him to me, I'll hang him from it. I'll video it. Save it for later. You people want to avoid that fate, you better change your ways. You better change your ways soon. As I'm warning you, it will happen. Justified, 100% justified. I guarantee it. Not a jury on the planet that wouldn't defend my right. So yeah, the organizations behind this beautiful mess. Usual suspects. Snakes. So yeah. Just to be perfectly clear, once this was sort of broken, once this started happening, I can understand those of you who, were trying to get involved for the purposes of helping in some way. I can understand why, when the government makes a law saying that it's going to classify the existence of its own fecal matter, and you feel compelled to obey that law because you don't want to be caught, holding the bag. I can sort of understand that, but look where it got you, right? Look where it's gotten us, and yeah, not your savior. Save yourself, and if you want to save yourself, you better start acting in the interest of what is true and real, and stop pretending that there aren't going to be consequences for the crap you're doing. And it's one thing to make a movie that perpetuates this myth, that puts the illusion of space travel, embeds it into people's minds. And it's another to make a show that completely mocks it, which I think is what Farscape is. And so, for a very long time after I found Farscape, I was torn about how to perceive it, and I still am. The people involved, I think, were sympathetic with the situation, as most of them may have been. But the problem is that in some sense no one is playing with the full deck because of the nature of deception, because of the nature of the playing field, the battleground, the territory. Parts of it are uncharted. We have uncharted territories. There's things that all of us don't know about the nature of the world.